Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We're back at it again with another epic and educational day of chess. Today, we're going to do a 10 plus 0 because we're going to absolutely flag our opponent from a losing position. That's the plan. Just kidding. But we're going to hop right on into it. We pre-move c6 because that's what we play no matter what. We're going into the Caro-Kann. Exchange variation, advanced variation. We got the advanced variation on the board. And he is going for this cheeky move where he tries to trap the bishop. So essentially, what could happen? There's a lot of things, and I'll explain it after the game. But you need to push this pawn 2 squares. I believe in this situation, we just solidify the center. Don't see a huge reason not to. I do believe that we still just go for this pawn break. And now we've got these advanced pawns over here. The whole reason we push this pawn is to bring the knight there. I mean, he can jump this knight into an uber defended square. That's actually quite delicious for our opponent. So we need to be a little bit cognizant of that. We trade off the bishops. I believe that taking is actually not such a terrible idea, but developing the queen would make sense as well. So we're going to develop the queen, apply pressure to this, maintain an equal time situation. Okay, makes sense. Do we take now? This pawn is defended, so sometimes what will happen is like this, and you can take here attacking the queen. It's not going to work because his pawn is defending this. I can take here and attack this knight all the way across the board. I can also push forward and do that same thing. I'm not sure if that's actually such a great idea for me. But you know what? In a lot of lines, we do end up... Oh, it's not going to ruin the pawn structure because queen sees it. So that's not actually going to work. Jumping forward, getting hit here. I think immediately we're going to give this check. 1 square away from taking the knight. 26 seconds. If he comes out, I think we just trade. He probably takes with the knight, but then we have a pretty simple idea of developing. We will go like this. I mean, don't love the idea of his knight ending up there. And if he castles this way and I castle this way, he's got a pretty simple way to just attack me. He wants to jump forward like this, or at the very least, bring his queen. But this isn't going to work immediately because I have 2 pieces attacking it. So we're going to just stick with the plan and go here. Everything in the position is looking at his weakness. Like if we see this pawn is being stared at. This is also hanging. Taking that would have made more sense. So he castles this way. Do I dare? Now it doesn't make a lot of sense because he can come over like this. And my queen is trapped. If I go like this, and he comes through, I got nothing good going on for my queen. So we're just gonna be principled and castle. He could probably just push a pawn to like advance this and get an open file over here if a trade does happen. Our opponent has 1 minute on the clock. So he does just decide to push a pawn over here. That did seem to be like a this did seem to be a minute problem for him. Now jumping forward. Ooh, we jump forward, attack the rook, to then jump back and attack the queen. I'm not convinced it's a great plan, but I don't think we're going to be winning this pawn anytime soon because he can just defend it a million different ways. So what if we jump in and attack the rook? The rook will probably go here, but then we jump back and attack the queen. The queen might then go here. We'll bring my rook over here. He'll probably bring his knight. Let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. Hard to say. I mean, the whole idea was to jump forward. We are now attacking the knight. We're attacking the queen with our knight. Our knight is on a good square. He can't immediately trade it off. I mean, I guess he can jump in like this. But is that good for you? Hard to say. This becomes a fork in the position. I really would like to develop my rook. Jumping forward and attacking the queen and forcing this trade. Does that make sense? Now he can jump back. He did vacate a square to just trade off this knight. So I think in the meantime, we're going to just bring our rook over here. He'll probably jump back. Oh, he wants to just jump in and trade this way. We could jump forward, but I think we just need to take. And all of a sudden, I have just sunk below in time. 1:30 down on the clock. We're going to just push this. If he pushes, we'll just take. I think we're going to have to reroute this knight over here as a defensive mechanism, because this pawn push is a little bit scary. Because my pieces are kind of walled out. Like, I can't even get into the mix. I could trade something off here. Potentially, like, force this trade. Like, jump in. I think we're going to take the time to do this. If he does push, we just take. Now we can jump in and attack the queen, but I'm not so sure that's a great idea. This kind of just immediately walks into that. Then his knight would come. Then this check would come. I think that I might just get splattered. Absolutely, I might just get plastered in that position. So we're going to step back. He probably needs to play this immediately. Yeah. But we are just going to take. His knight will take. My knight will jump into the middle. He's got this check, and it's quite scary, but I can step up. So we're going to defend it like this. If he does hit us with this check, I mean, he gets pawns over here, but I feel like I'm sort of safe, actually. And my knight is a little bit, like, unopposed. So he hits us with the check. Do I take and allow this and then just step up? He would then play this. I could bring my rook over. Or do I just step up and let him take? Either way I do that, it ruins my pawn structure, and I just don't think it's great. So I think ruining his pawn structure is better. We then step forward and attack the pawn. If he pushes, dare I just take? I feel like this move makes a lot of sense. Like this, this, this. All right, we're just going to play it. We have survived. We have survived. I can put my piece on the 7th rank. That is what I immediately see. He has ideas of like this, but I don't think it's going to really work. So what if I do jump over here? He jumps in. I don't want to have to play a move like this. What do I do? This seems just like the active, correct move, right? Am I crazy for thinking that? It cuts off the king. He'll probably just play this. If I double up, he can go here. That's quite scary. So what if I go here? No. What do I do? I hate these types of positions. I'm just defending with my life. Do we just immediately go for like a queen trade? What if I break open? Does that make sense? We break open the position. Or we just bring the rook over here immediately and like go for something? I feel like this has to be right. I don't know what to play. We're doing it. He can bring a rook. This doesn't even actually like attack anything. What if he just brings the rooks? And then brings another rook? And my stupid wall of pawns is like preventing my queen from actually getting back over here to help. Sorry about that. Okay, so he does want to do this. If we step over, he steps in. We then step here. If this happens, he could double up on it. We defend like a scared little boy, like this. Ooh, sacrifice. No, never in a million years. I want to take this. Do we go here first? Then if he steps in, then I threaten the trade. If he takes, I just come back. This locks my rook into the situation is the problem. Let's just go for it. And if I take and this happens, this passed pawn becomes a huge problem for me. because we would get into a rook and pawn endgame where my king can't move because I need to maintain defending this advancement. Like this structure, if he gets his pawn there. So I'm not convinced that trading is great for me, but I don't see what else to do. His queen is like posing huge problems for me. And he can essentially just do something like this. So I'd probably have to take, then double up, then he takes, then I'm in. And I don't hate it, actually. I could maybe like get behind it or something. That lets me grab this, right? I grab this. Here. And then I'm ready to come back. Here, 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 here. We're just grabbing it. Am I going to get battered around and lose my undefended rook somehow? I sure hope not. Like, this would be scary. Okay, he hits me with a check. If I go here and he goes here, I can come in like this. And if take, check. So I think I come back to the light squares. I am up a pawn. I think that I have time to bring this over. We play this. This pawn push is so terrifying, but his king is at least in the way of the rooks joining the party. Now my rook is at least defended. I think I bring my rook here. If this happens, then I win your queen, so you can't really do that. If you push forward, I can just take. You give me a check, and then I step back. You give me this check, and I step back. And it's really scary, but I think I'll survive. So if he pushes this, I might just take. Check here. I don't see a way forward for you, buddy. Other than absolutely flagging me. That would suck. Is my face too bright? My face is always too bright in these videos. I'm going to put this little piece of paper in front of this light. Boom. Is that better? I care about my viewers' eyeballs. So this situation is actually not so bad anymore. Okay, so he steps over. I can take. We can threaten the queen trade. Take. But then there's something like this. Don't love it. We're playing this. I don't actually know what to do here. But I'm up a pawn. As long as I don't get checkmated. He did take. I'm going to take. He can attack here. But I can defend. Here, here. Another check. I step back. No more checks because our kings would both be on the H file. Now I need to win this endgame. Don't know how to do that, but we're going to go for it. Rook is super active. Go here. If you trade, we're in an endgame where I'm up a pawn. And I will be maybe up another pawn. Okay? I feel like you have to take here. I think that I take like this. Because this check, I think I just risk it all. And we go for this. Oh boy. What if I go here? Then you go for this open file. Then I come in. You come down and win everything. Here, 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 here. I have 2 passed pawns, but then so do you. That's probably losing. Here, check. We're stepping back. We're going to go like this and try and push. I have an extra pawn. We're going like this. We will push here. Maybe I push these as well. 29 seconds. I think we're just going to push here and try and like get rid of these pawns and get into an endgame where I have one idea. I think we can take. We push. Okay. Okay. He can step up. No, he's got to step over, and I step in. We're going to get into Zugzwang situation. Step over, my friend. Almost certainly I just want to play here. And I'm not playing. We pre-move this. We know our king and pawn endgames. He cannot take this pawn. If he does, this one runs. We push it. 15 seconds. We cut him off. He's in this box. We bring the king. One step lower. Pre-move the king. Pre-move the queen. We get the checkmate. Oh boy. How accurate was that? Pretty gosh darn stankin' accurate, I think. Let's look at this. I don't think I made a single mistake. It was a perfect game of chess. No, I'm just kidding. There was probably definitely some errors. Did all of that make sense? I don't know. Did that make sense? I don't know. Actually, I think literally grabbing that pawn with my king was a little risky, but it just led me into this endgame where I knew he shouldn't have done this. For one, from what I would have done with 3 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock, he had no reason to trade the rooks. He could have literally just harassed me forever, giving me a million checks, threatening this pawn, threatening the open file. He could have flagged me if he knew what he was doing. I don't know why he didn't. He literally just played very... He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do that. So I think 91% accurate. Is that too ambitious? I don't know what you guys think. Put it in the comments. We're going to go check it with the computer. And here we are on the analysis. And what did I say with the accuracy? I spent a while analyzing this game. I think I said 91, right? I believe. And so it was a pretty good game of chess. I definitely missed some stuff. But check out this accuracy down here. 91%. One blunder, and my blunder wasn't really a bad blunder. It was just a miss-win blunder, which is bad. 11 inaccuracies because defending that position was not good. That might be the record I've ever placed. 11 inaccuracies. Very rarely do you see double digits, but all of them are like hovering around. Like they're not a big deal. And so we get the Caro-Kann. Let's turn the computer on. I know my Caro-Kann quite well. We played literally the best computer line the majority of the moves. You're supposed to bring this knight out when if he pushes this pawn, even if he doesn't push the pawn and it's still over here, you bring the knight out, and if he trades the dark square bishop for your knight, it's technically good for black, but dude, it gets hard to play because castling this way becomes sketchy, castling this way becomes sketchy, your pawns are doubled over here. It gets hard to play, so I really don't like going into that line where they capture the knight over here. When the pawn is here, you're safe because he's a few moves away from even being able to move this and take your knight. So that's one tiny overlaps. So the way that I get around this, say that he's not pushed this pawn, the way that I get around it is I develop the knight, trade off the, because we got so many pawns on light squares, we trade that off, we bring out the queen, we trade here in the middle, but then we can develop the bishop with check and then trade it off, and then we can happily develop our knight and get him here, whether we go this way or this way. The end goal is to get my knight on that square. And so I was supposed to just take here. I didn't like that because his queen, I guess I could have came in with check, and then he takes, and then I'm here, and then he has to awkwardly defend this by scooting the king over, and he can't castle. I guess that would have made actually a fair bit of sense. Didn't see all of that. We just trade everything off, and we're in a good position where simply knowing the opening and have played it and having had played it a bunch of times, I kind of know what I'm doing here. We get the knight to the destined, the promised square. And actually, this knight is really powerful there. And so he castles, I castle. And my little rerouting idea, it's one of the best moves, but simply just playing on the open file with either one of the rooks would have been preferable. And then realizing my knight is here. He's attacking this weakness. This pawn can't push immediately because I'm attacking it. I'm applying pressure to the middle, and I'm getting ready to jump in. So if we're just comparing the knights, like this is the best knight on the board compared out of all of the knights. And so doing this little tactical whatever you want to call, to get it here wasn't actually that great, because you can just move the queen and then trade it off at given will, or move it forward and trade it off that way. And so this was pinning these pieces down to hold this. It was pinning this knight down to hold this. It was preventing this pawn from pushing immediately. Doing this little reroute didn't make a whole lot of sense, because you can just do that. And now my beautiful knight that's in the middle of the board can no longer return to where he was living. However, everything is still good. He should have taken with this pawn. Hard to say why, but he should have taken with this pawn. Oh, no, it's not hard to say. He should have taken here, because when he takes here, this is my blunder of the game. I can take this because this pawn is pinned to the king by my queen. So I would have jumped in and attacked the queen, and then I would have been able to jump over here and prevent this pawn push. That would have actually been a dope grabbing a pawn and defending beautifully, because I attacked the queen. Queen's got to do something. Basically, no matter where you go, my knight jumps over here next, is defended. This pawn can't push. These pawn breaks are less scary. Don't see it. So now we've got more or less equal position. We take here. We jump my knight in. Then the computer is suggesting that I scoot the king up and go for this. But this looks scary, and it looked scary in the game when I calculated it, because now these pawns are just like, I like what I did. The computer says that this is safer, but if you look, that was 0.8, and what I did is zeros. Okay, so it's about the same. It's like a pawn difference, but he's got the doubled pawns. My king, I feel, is like kind of safe. And here's where we start making our inaccuracies. This didn't make any sense. I should have just brought the queen back to prevent his queen from getting to these crucial, scary squares. Also, it would have been immediately attacking a pawn. We scoot back. He scoots back. This is a blunder. And what I really needed to be deciding here, taking the pawn, going up a pawn is a blunder. But what I really needed to be doing was pushing this pawn at some point, because it would free my pieces. And so I'll show you very quickly. We get checked. He moves around. I needed to push this pawn, because if he takes en passant, my queen gets involved, and then all of a sudden I've got all of my pieces looking at this square, and we're good to go. I'm up a pawn, and I'm like active. My queen is not active over here. This rook is not active over here. So if we just push this pawn and we trade it, all of a sudden both of them get activated by trading one set of pawns. Don't see it. Don't see it. We go here. We scoot in. Never in a million years should he have traded this. So this is not a great move by any means, because I should have gone for this pawn push, but I didn't see that. But it is only an inaccuracy if he didn't take. Oh, it's still an inaccuracy even if he does take. I don't understand. This is simpler. With 1 minute on the clock, take the queens off the board. With the queen still on the board, you can lose. And so here, I should have just taken, give him the open file, and then I take this. Then his king is cut off by my rook. I could defend this pawn. Like, yes, he can get in, but I could slide over and defend it, and then my king could slowly like encroach on the position. This is also a passed pawn. Whatever. I defend it this way. We're good to go. We trade like this. I take with the king, because taking here would destabilize this, and these are my weaknesses in the position. And if I took here, eventually his rook could get in here and hit me with this fork and take that with check, and I don't want that happening. So instead of going forward and being very valiant about just taking this pawn, I scooted back so I could push this pawn while defended from all the checks. Okay? So that's not a terrible plan. Spending 30 seconds on it, 40 seconds almost, is definitely not the plan. We push these pawns, we trade the rooks, and again, from our opponent's standpoint, I have 26 seconds on the clock. He could literally like give away this pawn or whatever for free. Trading the rooks, now the moves become simple to play. Like with the rooks on the board, think about all the potential moves there are on the board right now. Now think about all of the potential moves that are on the board. We can literally count them on our hands. So keeping the rook on the board makes the game last longer, and a lot of those moves can be checks. So like literally just stepping back, coming here to attack this or whatever. He could have flagged me with 26 seconds. Unfortunately, he didn't see that. I don't know what he was thinking. We get in a little Zugzwang where he has to step away. More Zugzwang. My squares are covered. He can only defend it by this diagonal square. No matter where he goes, I'm grabbing this pawn. So we pre-move this. We step over here because I know that this pawn structure is safe from the king. For a very simple reason, I take this. He comes in. I move my king. This or this will become my new queen. If he takes this, I'm one step ahead of you. And so you just simply can't catch the pawn. So he didn't even go for it. But let's show, for example, he can touch it, but then I run away. Then he can touch it, then I run away. Then he touches it, and then I make a queen, and he can't scoot closer because these squares are obviously queen squares. So pretty accurate game. Seven minutes in the review. The main thing was that pawn pin. My defensive maneuvers were not so great. Getting to this position, boom. I should have seen this because I know from the Caro-Kann this happens quite a bit, where you trade this knight here, and then this knight will come here, but then this pawn is undefended and you can attack it, attacking the queen. Like this structure right here is so common because you basically always trade off, you bring out the light square bishop and you trade it off here and the queen comes here, and you basically always have this same structure. So it definitely helps playing the same opening a bunch of times and just having a structure that you're very familiar with. Definitely this knight trade over here in this structure I'm not familiar with, but at least the middle of the board, I don't know how I missed the tactics involved with something I've played 1,000 times. So if you've made it this far, you are absolutely a legend. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I'm going to try and make more videos. I'm going to try and get better at explaining chess. I'm going to try and be better at doing all of this and obviously get better at chess. I'm coming up on 2,000. I'm at 125. So 132 after that game. Thank you so much for watching. Get out of here. I love you guys. Subscribe, comment, share with your friends. Watch every single video I've ever posted and share them with all your friends and tell them to do the same. Thank you so much. Get out of here. Bye.